This is the Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with head coach Ryan Day and former OSU All-American Jim Lachey, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Well, as everybody knows, it's a big one this weekend. Second-ranked Ohio State at home with number 5 Indiana, the next-to-last home game of the regular season over Ohio Stadium. Thanks for joining us, Coach Day. As always, thanks for your time. We'll dispense with the big topic that you addressed after practice yesterday, your reworked offensive line. And as disappointing as it has to be that you lose Seth McLaughlin, certainly you've got to be encouraged by the way that your other 2 offensive linemen now that are put into their new roles have embraced this.
Yeah, it's an opportunity, and every week's an opportunity, and really nothing that's happened in the past really matters moving forward. It's all about what you do moving forward, and all the work that's been put in leading up to this point now has to pay off. And so whether that's somebody who has played a whole bunch of football and had a bunch of starts and has a bunch of experience, or somebody who doesn't. And these guys are going to have great opportunities. And Carson's played in a lot of football games as well, so he has that experience. Austin's played in some. But he's also got some guys next to him that have played a lot of football, and Will right behind him.
Coach, that's kind of one of the benefits of having the opportunity to rotate players in the games. I know in defense you do a little bit more than you do on the offense, and certainly not much on the offensive line. But you got a chance to play some depth through the course of the year. And that second-team guy is always sitting there thinking, man, oh, man, I'm never going to play. I'm never going to play. Well, now your opportunities are here, and it kind of enlightens all those second-team guys that, hey, I better be ready to go because, everybody moves up one step.
Well, in this time of year, I actually mentioned it to some of the guys in a walkthrough last week that, you're one play away from being in the biggest spot of the entire year, and sometimes you don't feel that way. But that's the way it is, and that's why you build depth, and so that's why you have to work so hard in practice. And it is good to see guys get reps in games, even whatever those reps, are, even towards the end of the Northwestern game. You see Josh Padilla running down the field and finishing guys into the ground, and Jelani did a nice job on that drive and, getting that first down. And that all those plays matter so that when you do have this opportunity to play, you can go back on the things you've already done. But the other big part of it is the confidence knowing that, you're going against really good players every day in practice. And, blocking Tyleek, blocking Ty, blocking Jack, blocking JT, Kenyatta, all these guys. It's got to give these guys confidence knowing, hey, I can do it against our guys. I can do it against anybody.
How important, I think we all know that it is, but can you speak to the leadership in a situation like this with a quarterback like Will Howard, a lineman like Donovan Jackson, and others who've played a lot of football that can help lift these guys where they need to go?
Yeah, well, in these type of games, especially in November and something like this, top 5 matchup, our leaders have got to lead. That's what it comes down to. And, the number one goal for this team, I think this is why it's just been great to be around this team, is this team wants to win. They're not interested in individual accolades. And I know, the whole team, the offense and the offensive line is crushed for Seth. And, you wake up the next morning, you got to move on. That's just the way this thing's work. Nobody cares. The game of football doesn't care. That's just the way it works. We do. And we want Seth around until he has his surgery, and then we'll go from there. But at the end of the day, we have to rally, and the leaders have to do that. And it's great that we're in the huddle where Will can talk to the guys, and Donovan can talk to the guys, and Josh can talk to the guys, and so there's a group in there. And we had a good practice on Wednesday. We need a good practice today.
Just being out there yesterday watching those guys, obviously Will's leadership was there, but seeing guys like Quinshon Junkins and Travion Henderson, and one thing that impressed me is just how fresh they look this time of the year. And, again, sometimes you want to be selfish, you don't want to share reps, but it's to get to this point now that you're week 11, so you can be as fresh as possible. And those guys look really good hitting the hole.
Yeah, I thought they were running downhill. They're going to need to run downhill in this game. These guys do a lot of moving and shaking in different fronts, and so we got to get downhill with our run game. We got to be physical, but we all have to sacrifice if we want what's better. The betterment of the entire team and the goals that we want to achieve. It's not about individuals, and both those guys have sacrificed this year. But now, they get to pay. They get the dividend for what that was, and that sacrifice that was made. Now they get fresh legs, and they're able to play fast and downhill and physical and run through contact.
You talked about practices. What we've seen get to this point, the payoff of guys really embracing doing what they need to do in practice through the whole season.
Practice is critical. Practice is critical for getting rhythm. For certainly, I think one of the things that doesn't really get talked about a lot of these scout teams, and the looks that they have to give, and I think our scout teams have been excellent this year. We're able to utilize more coaches now, who's able to coach the front, the linebackers, the back end. and have scout team meetings and really mimic the body language, the looks, all the coverages, all those things, so that when we go to practice every day, we're working through all the issues. We're not working through them in a game, because every defense that you play throws different things at you, and so everyone has to embrace their role and do their job. And it sounds simple, but it's true. Like, we all got to up our game. We all got to enhance what we're doing in November and do our job. And I think the scout teams have done a great job all season, but in particular this week, of showing what Indiana is going to do in offense and defense.
Coach, special teams is important every week. Last week was important again.
Yes.
Got you started early. The week before, Caden Curry got a block punt there.
Yep.
Looking at IU, they've blocked a few punts. So, in this game, it's going to be one of the things that you got to really focus on.
Yeah, and they've returned. They've had some good returns. They played well on special teams. And we've a couple weeks ago we really changed some things up in personnel, so we need special teams to continue to be a plus for us. We're talking about the battle of field position in a matchup game. Every yard matters, every inch matters. So whether it's in the punt game, protecting and covering to get down the field, or whether it's in the return game, making sure we get the ball back, being alert for them trying to steal a possession, fakes and those types of things, but then getting the ball back and returning it. And every 10 yards is a first down, and all those little things matter. Even a pooch punt, getting it inside the 10-yard line. And the same thing with the kickoff and kickoff return. So, I know it sounds simple. We got to play physical, we got to play hard, we got to cover, and we got to return.
When you have those things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, are you able to see when you get back into practice, guys are a little more in tune to the significance of special teams?
Yeah, you can see, and again, our best players are playing, and they're involved in it, and they're very detailed. And like you said, when you see, somebody make a play and all of a sudden change the game, it's just got everybody locked in on those meetings. And we spend a good amount of time on special teams, and so it's good to see the work starting to pay off, but I think they understand how it can flip a game and what the impact it can have on a game. And so I thought the focus has been good in those meetings this week.
After Jeremiah's touchdown got under review, they overruled that. You had to punt the football, and got a good punt there. You got it down to the 8-yard line. And, I know Joe McGuire don't want to give up average, but, he did what's best for the team, put it inside the 10-yard line, and getting that sacrifices you got to make for the whole team.
That's it. And when you can get it inside the 10-yard line, now, the percentages say, that how the opposing team against our defenses, their chances of scoring 7 points go much further down than getting the ball, further midfield. So all those little things matter. And then if you can find yourself in a 3 and out, put a little pressure on them, get that thing towards midfield, you're playing downhill. That's the idea. So again, in the execution in those areas have got to be really clean now.
If you have a question for Coach Day, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at OhioStateBuckeyes.com and click on Ryan Day Show inbox. Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, and equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com. Saturday, Ohio State hosts Indiana. Will be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois. Get ready, Buckeye fans. Donato's just added something special to the pizza playbook. Introducing Donato's new Block O pizza. Donato's golden thin crust cut in that trademark Block O shape, loaded with crispy pepperoni, smoked provolone cheese, and Buckeye Spirit. It's the perfect pizza for game day or any day in Buckeye country. Now get a Block O pizza for just $10 with any pizza purchase. Order today with the Donato's app or at donatos.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to this week's show. Time for our 2 Deep Report presented by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Ryan, we talked about the offensive line and the reconfiguration there, but you've been able to get other people at other position groups out. Case in point last week at Northwestern, and that has to help also point toward that goal of developing depth all over the roster.
Yeah, you see it D-line, you see it at linebacker, you see it in the secondary. He's getting more and more of the receivers in there. Good to see James get downhill. So, yeah, looking forward to getting Will Kazmarek back this week. So – yeah, I mean, all these guys are going to matter here.
Arvell Reese has been playing a lot, and he's a guy that, again, stepped up last week. And you could see some flashes of that early in the year. But, now that, when you see a 2 tight end set or, those things, or a fullback, he's going to get that opportunity to go more of a 4-3 front. And he seems to be coming through and playing some of his best football here in November.
Yeah, he likes to run and hit. I mean, that's the way he is. I mean, he sees he's downhill, and he's a physical player. And the more he's playing linebacker, the more he's seeing it. And as you know, as a linebacker, it's about diagnosing plays. It's about recognizing what's going on. I mean, you got to really know what's going on with the front. You got to know what's going on in the back end, the run game, coverage. I mean, it's like being a tight end on the other side of the ball. I mean, you're involved in everything. And I think the more he's playing, the faster he's playing. I think, again, when you're younger, you're kind of reacting to what's going on. The more you play, you become able to anticipate what's about to happen, and that allows you to play fast because, once he sees it and he's going downhill, I mean, he's going 4-6 fast as he can.
Is what has separated Caleb Downs from everybody else at safety the way he's able to make some of those plays near the line of scrimmage that he makes?
Yeah, he triggers. He covers a lot of ground quickly. He's explosive, but it's the same thing with Caleb. I mean, he puts a lot of work in, and I think he's a great example to some of our younger players to see, this is a guy who's very, very talented, but he puts just as much work, if not more work, than anybody on the defensive side of the ball in terms of his preparation, the way he watches film, the way he does his meetings, the way he practices. And all those things lead to him being able to play faster on the field.
And have that much athletic ability to go with that hard work, off the field. That's the impressive thing, and he's got that. And, the tackle for losses that he has 6.5 this year. And, it's just amazing how he can get there as fast as he does and then make those sure tackles right near or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it is. And, he's able to close that gap quickly, and that's a great sign for a safety. And, we're going to need him this week. I mean, he's going to get challenged in a lot of different ways. They do a nice job in how they try to attack you, with RPOs and different things. So, we're going to have that secondary playing sound, but being really competitive and getting after him.
With what we've seen from Sonny Styles, is that a young man that's finally getting traction at his new position and making the most out of it?
Yeah, a lot of production, especially in the second half. You can see some of the work he's been putting in terms of rushing the passer. That's been, now showing some production on the field. But anytime you can do that, and with his length, he starts at safety, linebacker. Now you see him rushing the quarterback, so he can do things at all 3 levels. And this is another guy who just started playing the position this year. I think people forget he hadn't played linebacker until this offseason. So, again, the more he's doing this, the more he's seeing things, the faster he's playing.
Yeah, one of those sacks he had the tight end in coverage. You could tell it was the tight end motion. He had him in man. He motioned over with him. Then the tight end stayed in the block, and Jack was able to come down hard inside and kind of freed Sonny up. And he says, "Ooh, I'm going to go eat here," and just got in the backfield and made that play, got the sack on the quarterback. But again, all those things coming together. He understands it. It's all starting to process fast for him.
Well, I thought it was well designed, but at the end of the day, the player's got to go put it on the field, and that's preparation. And there's a way that we do that, in terms of installing a play in the meeting, and then you have the meeting, and in the meeting, you got to ask questions. I think James does a great job of that. We call it direct teaching. Having the player teach it back to the teacher, to the coach, and then we go and do a walkthrough, and then we go ahead and do it in group work, and then we do it in a team work, and then we go back through and review it and walk through it, and then all of a sudden you get to the game, but you got to go put it on the field, and that's called competitive excellence. And there's this teaching progression that has to happen, and then how it happens on Saturday is your feedback on how your teaching progression went. And so that's just this constant process and routine that we're working through. But good to see them take a scheme that we recognize something and put it on the field on Saturday.
Is some of this also, we're talking about secondary linebackers, them also being familiar with what the line in front of them is supposed to do so that they can help react to those things?
Yeah, they go hand in hand with each other. Yeah, and that's it. And we talk about how the offensive line's got to wreck it, and then the second the linebackers got to go clean it up. And that's kind of how it goes. And so we got to get great knockback this week. We got to get great hands on the guys up front. We got to get some moving back at the line of scrimmage, and then the linebackers got to go clean it all up. And that's really how we do it. And so for a linebacker to understand that part of it is critical. But then also how he fits into the coverage, and so that's how it all works. And every time you give something, you get something. And understanding what the strengths and weaknesses of every defense is important for linebackers.
Seems like you guys have been really good at making those second-half adjustments against these teams. And, Northwestern had a bye week, Indiana bye week before they play. There's going to be some unknowns. So you have to see it. You have to see it on the sidelines. You have to talk about it, discuss all the things. And then you got to adjust to it and then go out there and make sure it doesn't happen again. And it seems like you guys have had that ability to get that done.
Yeah. I think we have a veteran group, and so it's important to recognize what's going on in the game, and then make those adjustments and changes. And it's important for the coaches to recognize again what happened in the last series. And sometimes it's just getting a feel for what's going on, and then just continuing to go through. Sometimes it's there's something we just saw in this last drive that's different, and we got to make this type of adjustment as we go. Thought we did a nice job in the middle eight in this past game, and scoring there, coming out of the half, coming back and getting another score. Flipping the scoreboard from 14-7 to 28-7. That was a big part of the game. And so I think understanding situation is just as important as anything.
Yeah, the fast start, sometimes you want to get your offense out there to take it, but then you don't get that middle eight, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, what do I do here, But I understand, everybody wants to get that offense out there, go 7, make them chase the rest of the ball game, but you don't get that opportunity, to kind of get that second quarter, take care of that ball, and then, get in the end zone, get some points, and have the opportunity to start the third quarter with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought about it last week, but just tried to stay disciplined with, our routine and how we do things, and talk to the team about it on a weekly basis. And so we decided to defer there, and you feel like you can do some work in that area right there. Now, regardless of how it shakes, you still have to win that. But we felt like we could maybe get a stop there. We had a 3rd and long on the first drive, and they hit a run for us, and it kind of kept the ball and milked it out. So we got to do a better job early in the game on defense, but it's important, and you got to look at it through 4 quarters. The number one goal is to win the game. That's the way we always got to look at it, and it'll be the same thing here on Saturday.
When you talk about making adjustments, and especially late in the season like this, is this where the expediency, the communication from whether it's the press box to the coaches to the players, all of that back and forth, where it has to be successful but also timely?
Yeah, and now with the tablets on the sideline, it's very, very important, to know exactly what's going on every single drive, because the other team has the tablets, so they're looking at and seeing what's going on. So adjustments are made on the fly nowadays, now more than ever. Because once before you had the tablets, what would happen on play 3? Well, I wrote it down here, but now you go back and you look at every single detail from the sideline and from the end zone, even the TV copy you get a chance to see. So things are moving quickly. Adjustments are being made fast. There's really good coaches in this league, and so we got to be on our game. We got to be communicating at a high level.
I thought I saw you last Saturday take the tablet out and actually show some guys what they were trying to do there. I mean, you saw it. You're something you want to convey to those guys that are affected on the team, and hey, I'll just walk out and show them. Like you said, you don't have to talk about it. You can prove it to them and say, this is what we need to be done. This is what happened. This is what we're going to do this time.
Well, some of those TV timeouts are so long. You got time. You might as well find something to do. So
we know it, too.
Give me the tablet. We'll get some guys coached up here in a huddle.
We'll start with our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. And we start with John in Springfield. How much do you believe the secondary will be tested by Indiana on Saturday, and what would you say their strength on offense has been from what you've seen so far?
Well, they're very balanced. They're going to start off by running the football, and then they're going to throw the ball in the RPO game and take their shots. And they're going to challenge our guys in the secondary for sure. I think the quarterback does a nice job in terms of locating the football. He gets the ball out on time. And I think the receivers do a nice job of running routes with crispness, and I also think that they play the ball really well. And so you can see it. You see it in the numbers that they've put up this year. So good challenge for our guys.
How do you defend that back shoulder fade that they seem, everybody likes, throw the back shoulder fade because it's hard to defend.
Yeah.
But how do you defend that? And what do you tell your guys, your defensive backs, especially your cornerbacks in that situation?
Yeah, well, there's a lot that goes with it. And, the coverage and rush work together, as you know. There's something to be said for both of those things. And so, we have to recognize what's going on, what type of coverage that we're in, and, play the ball. And that's it. We got to be aggressive, but we got to learn to play the ball, and there's a lot that goes with that. I'm not going to get into all the details of it all right now, but it's something certainly that we always from day one of spring ball to the off season to even now, we work on making sure that we're getting deflections and we're playing the football in those one-on-one situations.
Speaking of the rush, it seemed to us, and I'm sure to others, it just seems in the last few weeks, Jack Sawyer's been all over the place. Is he just kind of a guy that's triggered to the opportunity?
Yeah, Jack is, been a great leader for us. Jack. Really embodies what it means to be a Buckeye. He loves his teammates. He loves this school. He loves the Buckeyes. And, he plays really hard out there. And, I know everyone's always saying, guys come back for a reason and everything. But Jack has been that way. He's had that look in his eye. And he's bringing guys with him. That's what leadership's about. It's one thing just to do it, but you got to bring guys along with you. And you got to pull people with you. I feel like he's doing that. And, he's been strong in there. He's had a great presence. In order to lead, you got to be seen, but you got to be felt as well. You got to be heard. He's doing all those things right now, and he knows he's got to be at his best, just like the rest of these leaders.
Coming off a career-high 7 tackles for Jack Sawyer, seems like you pretty much keep JT at the right end and Jack at the left end, and is that something that they just feel comfortable playing in those spots?
Yeah, that's it. And there's pluses and minuses to both, but you feel like that you do it over and over again on one side. You get really good at that. You got to learn sometimes both sides of a defense, but they feel comfortable. They played a lot of football. They have, and all 4 of those guys have now. And so there's a lot of experience there, and that certainly does help with the adjustments in game as well. But at the end of the day, it comes back to how quickly can you get off the football and how physical can you play. And that's what we need our D-line to do this week.
Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena and Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Bucks and beat cancer. We'll have more today's show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. And welcome back to our show this week with Coach Ryan Day, and it's time for our Inside Access with Kroger. A reminder that Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. And, Coach, I know your focus is always moving forward with what's on hand coming up this week, but we've got to ask you a little more about Carnell Tate and the day he had in his hometown last Saturday, but also just the way everybody seemed to really surround him with the appreciation for what he's done.
Yeah, not somebody who brings a lot of attention to himself. He's a team player, and, he's very private. And I think when he did lose his mom, he didn't bring it to anybody's attention. He kind of dealt with it himself privately. I think, the ones that are closest to him knew, how much he was grieving, but he just, he never brought it into the Woody, didn't do it. And I just think so many guys have so much respect for how he handled himself. And not just with that, because we know how much he grieved and how much it hurt him, but also just the way he goes about his business on a daily basis. And, he's got a lot of respect in this building. A lot of people care a lot about him. And so to see him go back in that environment at Wrigley in his hometown and making 2 touchdown catches and another catchdown on the 1-yard line, I think, the whole team rallied around him, and I think he felt that support.
Talking about somebody caring about him, Brandon Ennis, I don't think I saw anybody more excited than he was. His roommate making those plays, and, he said he was one of his rocks through that hard time.
Yeah, he was. Brandon's always been there for him. I think he's one of the closest people in his life, and you can just see their relationship. And, I think when Carnell scored, Brandon probably was in the end zone by the time he landed. That's the way Brandon is. He is such a competitive dude, man. He loves to play. And, to see Brandon get that catch in, the Penn State game, and then to see this happen on this week, they were both just pulling for each other. They just, they're really, really tight. And, they're both really good football players.
Craig in Columbus with the next of our Union Home Mortgage inbox of questions. Aside from getting the win, any other memorable moments from being at Wrigley Field last week?
When you're in it like that, you typically just you're not thinking that way. You're just worried about, the game and the situation and who's in the game and making sure, everything's going okay, and who's going in the game at the end of the game, and the health and all the there's so many different things that are going through your head. So sometimes it is difficult to sit back. Now we did go there the day before, which is rare for us to actually kind of take a look up and get an idea of what we're dealing with. And the grounds crew, the people in the locker room were awesome. And driving in was probably the thing that I remember the most. Driving through Wrigleyville and just seeing Buckeye Nation coming out of the bars in different places and you just saw them lining the streets around the stadium as we circled Wrigley. And then going in there and just seeing, the red all over the stadium, and then I'll remember, Carnell's catches.
Yeah, I guess that manager's office is pretty nice. How did you like that? Because usually, manager, baseball, head coach in football, you got that office all to yourself. And I heard there was some pretty good, it was a pretty nice setup in there for you.
Well, you can tell they spent a lot of time in there because there was all kinds of stuff in there. There was drinks and food and coffee and a whole setup in there. So you can tell in baseball they spent a lot of time in there. But it was a very nice setup. But even going through into the batting cages and the bullpen and just seeing the walls, there was just you can tell it's been there for a long, long time. So you just felt the history as you walk through.
With the way we've seen Will Howard play the last few weeks, and we've seen all of the numbers about his efficiency, but is the combination of that and the leadership that he brings you've talked about what has set him apart?
Yeah, that's what we need here. Here we go. I mean, this is it. Game 11 and top 5 matchup, and it's going to come down to leadership. And the number one job for the quarterback is to lead the team into the end zone, lead the team to victory, and his leadership has been excellent. And so he's got to continue to build on that, and we huddle. We huddle now, which is something a little bit different. But when he's able to look all 10 guys in the eye and, bark out the play and, talk to him a little bit about the situation, encourage and all those things, it's made an impact on our team.
Coach, one thing I got asked, when Chip is given a call and plays into the huddle, you can hear all of that, right? I mean, until the 15-second clock when it goes off, you're be able to listen to all that, as it goes. And is the whole offensive staff able to hear that?
Yeah, so just like, we have a headset here, when we're speaking to each other, we can hear each other. But then there's a walkie-talkie that speaks right to the headset. So while he's speaking, he just turns on the walkie-talkie. So we can hear what he's saying as he's speaking to Will. And then we can hear the play calls and what, something that may be going on that play.
But there's only one voice that he can hear. Like, he can't hear your voice. Will can't hear your voice, too, on that.
So I do have a button. I really haven't used it this year. I'll just let Chip do that because, I just think there should be one voice to the quarterback at that time. There is one, and then there's obviously one on defense.
And that's just going to be the next question. So that goes usually to Cody Simon?
That's right. Or Sonny, or, we decide that on a weekly basis. But yeah, Jim's speaking to, the linebacker and giving him, what the defensive call is, and then, other things too sometimes, just situationally what's happening.
And there's no talk back. Obviously Will can't talk back. You're like, no. Is there hand gestures or things like that he can, louder or turn it up or things like that?
Yeah, or can't hear you, or, inside of 15 seconds, now we have to handle it some other way, or it's staticky. There's different things like that. And there has been situations where, it hasn't been super clear. Actually happened one time on Saturday, and, Cody thought he heard one call, and it was another call. And so we're in a third down defense on first down, and they hit a run that spilled, and Jim is screaming, going, and I almost called timeout because he didn't really recognize it till the last second. Like, what is this defense? This is not what I called. So there are things that do come up in this situation, but for the most part, we've got fail safes on how to handle those types of things. I think the communication overall has been great.
Yeah, it should be in Week 11 now that you've had a chance to go through all those things. You talk about huddling. The other teams seem to want to milk the clock, snap the ball under 5 seconds on the play clock. Because of that, you're only getting like 63 plays per game. I mean, back in the heyday, you were getting, 82, 80, 85 plays per game. Those days are gone, it seems like. But you've had to make adjustments. And what I'm trying to get to, it makes every play so important, and especially those third downs.
Yeah, efficiency is at an all-time high. And I think it takes some pressure off your defense. I think it takes some pressure off your team as you look at the length of the season. So these are all things that we took into consideration during the season, when we decided to go to the huddle. But, other teams are now going to the huddle with the coach-to-player communication. And so like you said, it's, at times it's a little bit more NFL style where, like you said, I mean, every play is critical. Every situation is critical. And it seems like the percentage of situational football is increased this year. So we've spent more time on that in practice. So, that's what it's going to come down to in this game as well.
As this season has gone deeper, and you talked about all of the different offensive threats, has that kind of gotten to where your goal was to have so many possible threats that it puts the defense in stress?
Yeah, I think you had a great example of that was, a couple weeks ago we got Travion matched up in a one-on-one on a linebacker. This past week, G. Scott was running with the Will linebacker down the field, and I thought that throw and catch from Will to G was excellent. But, they put 2 guys out there on Carnell. They had a couple guys over here on Emeka and Jeremiah. And so, you had a one-on-one situation down the field. So, again, anytime you can stretch them horizontally, vertically, with multiple threats, when it comes to, the types of talent that we have, you're putting stress on that defense.
That throw he had to G. Scott was a thing of beauty because he looked like a wheel route. He had Travion, which seemed like that would have been just an easy throw out there, but he went for the tough one. And I'm like, oh, no. But, G came up with a big catch here right in the same route.
Yeah, it was a big one. And similar to the one we hit in the Oregon game, down the middle. Yeah, exactly. Very, very. That was the same type of play. And I thought that he read that well and got his feet in the ground. And we say when the defender's back is turned that he's not there.
Yep.
Just act like he's not there. But you got to 1-inch him and you got to get it right over his helmet. And that's the way he threw the ball. And a big part of that was getting his feet in the ground. But then G had to go make the play. Yeah. And when you're running that way, as you're running and you're turning your head back, but you can't turn your shoulders back because you're slowing down. And then you got to wind that ball over your shoulder with your pinkies together, and I thought he did a nice job.
Roosters wants to say congratulations to the 12 lucky prize winners in this year's Roosters Buckeye giveaway, and thank you to all the loyal Buckeye fans who help make Roosters a fun, casual joint. Be sure to visit @RoostersWings on Facebook or Instagram for the list of prize winners. We'll have more with Coach Day when we continue with our weekly show presented each week by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuohio.org. That's cuohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan. for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. And welcome back to our show this week with Coach Ryan Day as the Buckeyes get ready to host Indiana. From our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions, this comes from Aaron in Cleveland. Do the officials tell you the review ruling before the referee announces it in the stadium?
Yeah, we usually get it. They usually let us know if it's been overturned or if they're gonna go ahead and move forward with it, just to give us a heads up right before. All the crew has communication there, so they have an earpiece and a headset. They're talking to each other all the time, so they're good about just communicating, and just letting us know.
I saw one stat there. Opponent penalties. You guys are like last in the country at 135 as far as your opponents getting penalties. Does that surprise you?
No comment.
Yeah, really.
Something's got to go your way, right? Come on.
Yeah, really, and that's true. Something that earlier in the week you addressed, and this kind of ties into our next Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Matt in Brunswick, how much does crowd noise really affect the visiting team, and what's the loudest you remember Ohio Stadium being to date?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is, it makes a major difference for the offense. Huge, because you have this communication, and Jim, you and I have talked about this a lot, especially with the offensive line.
Yep.
Because you have to have some sort of silent cadence. Now, these guys will typically use the clap, and if the stadium's loud enough, the clap should not be heard. That's just the truth. And so there's certain stadiums you cannot clap. If because think about it, like how loud can you clap? And the whole offensive line is moving when you clap your hands. Well, how can you hear a clap if it's really loud in a stadium? And then once that happens, you get forced them into a silent cadence. So I think the way, the meter for us or the barometer for us to figure out how loud it's going to be at Ohio Stadium is if they're still in the clap, it's probably not loud enough. So let's make it so loud that they can't clap. Let's make it so loud that they have to go on silent cadence, because it makes a huge difference for the defensive line when you start going on the silent cadence, because then you have to go on the head bob. You have to have some sort of indicator for the offensive line, and that's huge. Huge difference for our defensive line and a major advantage.
The worst thing for an offensive lineman is playing on the road with a loud crowd. I mean, that's the worst. And then being down by 14, because then you got to pretty much throw every play to get back into the game. So your pass blocking becomes a pass rush drill, where you can't see or hear the snap count. So it's a nightmare,
That's
so
exactly right.
You have to have peripheral vision. Sometimes you want to look at the ball, but then if you're looking at the ball, you can't see your defender.
That's it.
So it's just, and if you're going to be loud, you not only scream, but maybe clap their hands too while they're screaming.
Hey.
You get a lot of claps, 105,000 claps out there.
Whatever it needs to be, but that's typical. That's how they do their cadence,
yeah.
And other teams are that way. Yeah. But if it's loud enough that offensive lineman, who's looking at Jack or looking at Tyleek or looking at JT or Ty, has to rely on a clap in the back because it's so loud. Then you don't know what you hear. It creates confusion. So, again, you can force them to go in silent cadence, and then huge advantage for us.
And obviously it helps perk up the defense a little bit, too. Is it in any way affect any of their communication, or is it, with what they have to do and what places they have to be in?
Yeah, that does come into play. Yeah, I mean, you think about, when you go on the road on offense when it gets loud, but when you're at home, you think about how loud it can get. And if it's really rocking, you got to do a good job of communicating in those spaces. And so those are things that we do in practice and make sure that even just yesterday, we did a 2-minute drill. We cranked that noise up real loud to make sure we're all on the same page.
And it's not just on third downs. When you hear those third down bells in the stadium, that's not an indicator. We need it on first, second, third, especially fourth down. It's every play. It's you don't want to wait till third down to get loud.
That's it. And first down is going to be important in this game.
Yep.
Yeah, because the better you do on first down, the better third down is going to look. And they do a nice job of staying on schedule. And so, we got to be loud on first down because they're one of the best in the country of getting themselves into third and 3, 2, and 1. So, the harder we can, make it on first down, the better we can play on first down. Then it puts us in a situation where now we're dealing with third and medium or third and long, and then we can really go after them.
Talked earlier about the things that Indiana does on offense. What do they do on defense that jumps out at you?
They're moving every play. They have multiple fronts, multiple coverages. They're very aggressive in what they do. So a lot of movement up front, and they do a good job of it. A lot of TFLs, and they tie it all together in how they call it. And they're very good. And the back end is all tied in as well. So they've a lot of those guys came over from the same system, so they know the system well. And I think they've been opportunistic. And so, it's a great challenge for our offense.
Well, thank you as always for the time. We appreciate it, and all the best comes Saturday.
All right, guys, thanks.
It's Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Coming up next, we'll talk with defensive lineman Caden Curry when we continue with our weekly change. Donovan Jackson is who we'll talk to, offensive lineman, when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington, airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus. And is available on ohiostatebuckeyes.com. And Ohio State will be at home on Saturday, taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. That'll be a 12 noon kickoff. We'll be on the air with our AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show starting at 10:30 a.m. We are very fortunate to have Donovan Jackson with us for a few minutes here as we wind down the show. Ohio State offensive lineman. Thank you for the time, Donovan. Obviously, you guys have had to go through a few changes here. If you would just talk a little bit about what it's like and your role in trying to help guys get up to speed with what they need to do this weekend.
Yeah, first off, thank you for having me. But, it's just one of those things where guys got to be ready to play. It's something you could never prepare for. But in the unfortunate event that does happen, guys got to step up. At the end of the day, we all wear blockos on our chest for a reason. We're recruited to play football here for a reason. So younger guys who, in past years may have sat, and then spring ball comes and they get their shot. No, their shot comes now. And so after the first lineup change we had, some of the leaders on the O-line came to the younger guys where they look like, we don't know how this is going to go. We all have to be ready to play. That means everyone has to be dialed in on game plan, dialed in practice. So in the unfortunate event this stuff does happen, that we can't, take a step back. We got to keep going. And so that was the main message from, Coach Fry and all the coaches in the O-line room, especially, the leaders, me, Seth Fryer, and all those guys are like, we got to keep going because we don't know how this is going to go. We know that the season's long, late January, as long as it's ever been. So, if you play football long enough, you get banged up. So we got to be able to, keep going at the same pace we have been going and just keep getting better.
And like yesterday, he said, Donovan, hey, you guys here aren't here on vacation. Basically you're on scholarship too. You're here for a reason, and now that time has come for you to step up, and those guys have that ability to step up.
Yeah, I mean, it's being a football player at Ohio State. You get a lot of privileges, and sometimes I feel like some guys get lost in the wash load. It's like, no, we're here to play football. And so, especially some of the younger guys, but it's just another opportunity for guys to shine. Just competitive excellence. When your number's called, you got to make the play, and that's one of the things that's happening right now.
In high school, did you play guard, tackle, or both?
In high school, I played left tackle.
Left tackle. So
yeah.
You're going back to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I don't think college football is a lot different than Texas 4A football. But the stance-wise, everything like that, I was kind of sort of accustomed to. But I've since coming here, I've played guard since the moment I stepped on campus, and so making the transition was, I would say, a little difficult. But I had a lot of help from everybody else here to kind of help me out a little bit to get my feet under me, get my hands right, because it's a whole other viewpoint. At guard, you're blocking 340-pounders. At end, you're blocking guys who are 250 and run 4.3s, and so it's a little bit different. But we got to work with it. In
your first game at left tackle, now I know that you're playing on the road at Penn State, 110,000, 111,000 people there, but you're playing against a pretty quick guy in Abdul Carter. I mean, that's one way to get thrown into it, right? Playing left tackle that way.
It's about getting thrown into the fire.
He's got some speed, and this guy you're going against this week, Kamara's got some speed too.
Yeah, he's a very talented player. He knows how to use his abilities well in terms of using hands and being able to turn the corner, and is a reason why his numbers are so good as it is now. So I know that as a unit we all got our work cut out for us, and this is a very talented team, very talented defensive front, and they're all dialed into what they have to do. They rarely get out of gaps, so we just have to be dialed in on what we have to do to execute the game plan and do what we can to the best of our abilities.
Donovan, what's it been like to have two running backs like you've had behind you who've been able to share the load and have the production they've had in tandem with what you guys are doing up front?
Man, they make you look good, I'll tell you that. There'll be times where we might not fit it up the way we would like to, but we know that Travion and Quinshawn are out the gate down the sideline. And so especially run game is one thing, but they do an amazing job in pass protection as well, picking up blitzers and everything that we can't see. So no, it's a wonderful attribute to have, but our job is just make their lives a little easier. So if we can get them to the third and second level without trying to do a down lineman, then we did our job correctly.
How do you like huddling up? I know Coach talked about huddling up a little bit more this year than you have in the past. I think as a lineman, I liked huddling up because you can go back, talk with the guys, have some discussion, and then lock in for the next play. How do you like it?
I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
First couple of weeks doing tempo, I mean, it's brutal. You get this giant X play. It's like 40 yards downfield. You see the coaches signaling tempo. You're like, oh man, I gotta run 40 yards downfield. Get set, get a play in, then go after that. Huddling is just another aspect of the game. With the coaches in the headsets now, you're able to communicate a lot more up into the 15-second mark on the play clock. But I'm a huge fan of it. I can catch my breath. We can kind of talk in the huddle about what we did there and what they did to make sure the other side knows hey, this might be coming, or hey, this is what they're doing in the game here. Make sure we're all dialed in here. So, and you can catch your breath. So, yeah, I love it.
Has to be great to look at being at home, not only this Saturday, but the next week, too.
Yeah, I love playing at home. You're familiar with everything. You're not really in an uncomfortable environment in some hotel you have no familiarity with. but sleep in basically your own bed. So I love it home. Obviously, Buckeye Nation's going to be rowdy these next couple of weeks, especially this one. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Donovan, thanks for coming out to talk to us. We appreciate it, and all the best come Saturday.
Thank you.
It's Ohio State's Donovan Jackson, and join us Saturday as Ohio State hosts Indiana. We'll be on the air from Ohio Stadium beginning at 10:30 a.m. The Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio. For Skip Mossick, Colin Behringer, for Jim Lachey, Coach Ryan Day, as well as Donovan Jackson, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Now, in our last session, you said you were hearing noises.
Terrible noises.
Tell me more.
Same time every morning.
Can you describe them?
Well, it starts like yee and then turns into woo woo woo.
Indeed. And does it also come with a...
That's exactly what it is. How did you know, Doctor?
This is a symptom of not having an Apex Pros water heater.
Doctor, I know my husband, and he would never...
And the sound then goes yip yip woo woo woo. I'm writing you a prescription for an Apex Pros water heater.
You really think this will help?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows. First you doubt me, then you doubt the pros who knows.
I'm not doubting. I just didn't think my husband would make such
the unnecessary suffering of surprise cold water. I've seen it 1,000 times. Apex Pros even has tankless solutions that provide never-ending warm water.
Wow.
The crazy sounds will go away by tomorrow. Now here's my bill. Now about that sound.
It's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great. You get a brand new Kia. For less than lunch. Under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course. We're talking turkey. With event pricing and the credit approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool.